Greetings, Earthlings, wisdom keepers, wisdom seekers. Welcome back to WizdomDropz, your source for daily drops of wisdom. That's Savvy Cat Astrology. Meow. My name is Tonia, and today we are discussing Uranus and Pluto, the so-called newer malefic planets of astrology. Quick point of clarity, no, Uranus isn't totally always malefic in nature, but it can be. And so that's why we're discussing it today. And this is a video request from Alonzo Holiday. What up, dude? Thanks for being here. So this is what we're going to be discussing. We did another video on Mars and Saturn, the original malefics, the OG malefics of astrology. So if you haven't seen that, you can check it out. And before I jump into all the juicy details and share the screen with you, looking at just kind of what these planets are doing in the heavens now as we talk about them, a couple quick announcements. So number one, if you're not already subscribed but you resonate with this content, you like learning more about astrology, welcome to our community. We are a growing community on the interwebs. Feel free to join us. Number two, if this video brings you any value whatsoever, you can go ahead and hit that like button for free at any time, and it helps other people get this information for free. So it's actually a pretty cool way to just give thanks and support the exchange of knowledge. And last but not least, if you are interested in having me check out your chart personally and looking at it more in depth, learning about just your own journey and soul, karma, dharma, experience, any specific areas of your life that you want to dive deeper into and see what that means in your chart, you can reach me at my email address in the description box of this video, and we can talk about how to book a session. Okay, beautiful. Cool. So let's look at this screen and see what is the what with the Uranus and the Pluto. So I'm gonna start with Uranus because they all Scorpio peeps. I'm gonna be all Scorpionic and not do that right away. So Uranus, what is Uranus? Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury by people's standards, and I would agree with that to much extent. So it's basically like when you think of Uranus, it is gonna be how do we want to put this? It's gonna be a very interesting, quirky, genius energy. It's also very sudden and very cutting in nature, really, and that almost gives it this kind of like natural vibe of Mars, but that's why I say I don't really put too much stock in so and so's the higher octave of this or that or whatever, because it's all very connected. And so anyway, Uranus is about surprise and revelation and awakening and spiritual consciousness and angels and spirit guides beyond the physical realm, right? Which is groovy, and you can see how it gets associated with both, benevolent energy or benefic energy as well as malefic. But why is it a so-called modern malefic? Because Uranus takes things, it severs and it explodes. Those are the two kind of like keywords. It's a severance planet and an explosion planet. So Uranus really is about like cutting off in sudden events, like sudden traumatic events that are just very like abrupt and out of nowhere and like shocking. And Uranus is associated with lightning, and lightning is groovy as hell, you know what I'm saying? But not if it hit you. You know what I'm saying? So if lightning hits you, it's like, ouch, I just got hit by freaking lightning. And like, I don't know if I had a heart attack or a stroke. Interesting fact, I have seen Uranus come up in hard aspect with various planets. Hey, sorry, my cats are like, one of them is being not so groovy. But I've seen you talk about Uranian energy, like, I don't know, or like raw, but for real though, like Uranus is like a very spontaneous vibe, and it's like if you get hit by lightning, you're going to be jolted. And I've seen it in charts of strokes and heart attacks and sudden events and hard aspect. So it's like, you got to watch out for Uranus when Uranus is around. And that's why, Uranus is so-called malefic. But again, don't write Uranus off as straight up malefic in nature, because like, for better or for worse, like I, for one, have Uranus on my ascendant, like very tight degree. So I know what it's like to, when you have a planet on your ascendant, I think I did a video on that, but, or in the first house, you're going to have that experience of that planet more deeply. And Uranus is this quirky kind of like genius, not to like flatter myself, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it is that energy, and to have it on the ascendant is how people are probably going to perceive you, if nothing else. And so, you know, to some extent or another, but it's this like weird, like innovator and like kind of like visionary. And it's like weird because when I say the word weird, Uranus is, I'm going to flush that out a bit. I'm going to define that so you can get the better vibe I'm getting out of Uranus, and really get deeper with your understanding of the planet. And so basically, like, Uranus is weird, quote unquote, because whatever it's associated with is something that is not the normal, not the typical within society structure of what is normal and typical. And it functions in a way that is oftentimes advanced in terms of like where we are going. So it is kind of like an ahead of its time type genius, or whatevs you want to call it, advancement energy. It is the new, it rules like novelty before it has a chance to actually be novel, before it even has a chance to be new on the like scene, so to speak. So Uranus is kind of like that next thing. If you're going to put like a little sentence or a little phrase to it, be like that next thing as a substitute for Uranus. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's on the new and the next kind of that you just haven't even thought of, because Uranus is so different. It would be fun to get a bunch of people with really strong Uranus energy in a room together and to do like a quiz. That's like that's my Scorpio energy coming out to play. Like, how do we look at all this? Like who will show what, you know, in this kind of like assessment. But speaking of Scorpio, let's go into Pluto now. Pluto is the newer planet associated with Scorpio as a ruler, right? Like the modern ruler of Scorpio, but it's also a modern malefic, just like the OG malefic Mars, that is the original ruler of Scorpio in astrology. And Pluto, down here, you're currently at 24 degrees of Capricorn, whereas Uranus is currently in Taurus, both earth signs, interestingly enough. Pluto is, you know, very different energy. Pluto is, yeah, death. So I could see how somebody would be like, well, severance of Uranus and endings and death of Pluto. And I'd be like, sure. But what about also looking at, you know, the fact that Pluto is about investigating and in the depth of something, the absolute farthest in point, the absolute farthest out point. Pluto is all that. So just be aware when you're looking at Pluto, the nuances there. It rules the occult, it rules the cold and also the hot, like the extremes of those, the coldest and the hottest, you know, of things in general. It's extremism is what I'm getting at. Okay, it's extremism, for better or for worse. So it's also like dementedism, if you're looking at it from a bad malefic sense, like being really demented and really like perverse even, and perverted even, and even like sexually abusive, unfortunately, in the lower vibration of Pluto. In a better vibration of that, it's like very deep, penetrative, like sexy energy. But Pluto rules that, as well as the not so good version of that, like the against your will type shit, which is fucked up and not groovy. Just like what my cat just did, but you know, not at the same thing. So I'm not going to compare that, but like, you know, Pluto rules like the depths of a situation, and so it could be the depths of the worst situations. That's why it's malefic. So like the worst situations that are the like just darkest, deepest, foulest shit you have ever heard, that shall not be named, so to speak, like Voldemort status, is very much so Plutonian, okay, in nature. Pluto is all that. So when you think about like the difference in all the malefics, at this point, you've heard me talk about all 4 so-called malefic planets. And I think it's really interesting to compare them. So I really welcome your insights. People who are students of astrology, people who are listening to these videos, I would love to hear your comments on like even how you're currently understanding the difference between these malefic planets. And how is Mars different than Saturn, and how does Uranus differ from all those, and Uranus and Pluto and so on and so forth. So, or what do these symbolize to you in their more malefic or even malefic benefic nature? These are fun questions we can explore as a community if people feel like it. So with that said, through next time, until next time, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell, like it the video, share it with the friends, put the comments, do all the things. And through next time, until next time, it stars be with you. Peace.